this is the spoiler movie review for the the spoiler movie review for Joker. Spoiler movie review, baby. Which means we are going to spoil it. So if you have not seen Joker, do not watch this. Get out of here and go on the timeline and click the movie review, because this is not going to be a movie review. This is spoiler movie review talk. Coming right up. Now, the reasons the Joker is so good is reasons beyond your comprehension. Many people can't see the amazement of this film because it's told in old time. This film is being told from the time of the 60s. 60s/70s. Grainy film. 8mm. During that time, where there were actual real music. People watched Zenith televisions. It was told from a documentary standpoint at times of a one man's journey into self-destruction. But then everything changed. And it turned into a triumph when the smoke was clear. Now, since this is a spoiler review, we get to the spoiling. And look at that. They are trying not to give you any notifications from this video. I appreciate it. Now, the critics tell you all this controversy about the film and how violent it was, and oh my God, this is just too much, and Joker is this and that. Let me tell you what this is. They have upped security. The police are out in droves trying to stop people going to see the Joker. Let me help you out here, people. It's called promotion and marketing. Mass marketing. They have screwed with your mind for you to believe that this movie is so terrifying and it's so vile and disgusting that you gotta go see it. That's gonna drive the masses to the film. The more you tell them they shouldn't see something, the more they want to see it. This was marketing 101. You've seen worse in Deadpool. No. Nothing at all. Great marketing PR. But also, something smart was done. And you might ask yourself, well, what's smart that happened, that transpired? The Joker did inspire me. That movie has inspired me to start smoking 10 packs of cigarettes a day. My goodness, who sponsored this movie? Marlboro? My goodness, man, how many cigarettes did they smoke? I understand this is a period piece. Well, everybody smoked all the time, but my goodness, This dude was killing cigarettes with one pull. Dude, man, I'm like, I think I need a cigarette. It's incredible. Now, let's continue on. What made this pretty epic is the fact that you didn't know. A lot of it you had to use your imagination to say, well, I don't know what's real and what's took you and led you to as the audience was amazing. It took you on a trip and a journey where you thought you really knew something. So you were in the mind of a lunatic. We were inside Arthur's world. And that's what it was like for him. He didn't know what was real and what wasn't real. Sometimes I don't know if I really exist. That is a man who's tight-roping the life on existence. That means the lines are blurred. They don't know if it's real or if it's fake. They don't know. And he was crying for help. That's a movie in progress. When the audience is taken on that same delusional journey. Because we're believing whatever he believes. One of the first things that we start to believe is the fact that the biggest thing was that Thomas Wayne is the father of the Joker. That angle was done to perfection. It explained a lot. It explained their connection. Bruce Wayne and the Joker. In the movie, his mother used to work for Thomas Wayne. And she writes Thomas Wayne a letter saying that your son and I need your help. We're living in poverty. And the mom tells him after he asked her, she said he was ashamed. Then he pulls up to see Bruce Wayne at the manor and puts a smile on his face and talks to him, and he's like, I want to meet my father, Thomas Wayne. And they were like, your mother's delusional. So you don't know what to believe. Was she telling the truth? Did Thomas Wayne have an affair with her and they had a baby and it was the Joker? We're on this roller coaster, so you don't know. Then you find out that his mom was schizophrenic. And he finds out that he was abused by his mom's ex-boyfriend. His mom didn't do anything to help him, and the child services took him away. So he finds out that Thomas Wayne is not his father. That his mom was actually just crazy. Which drove him into more insanity. He didn't know what was real or what was fake. And the three Wall Street guys, when they get killed, the way that it's done is more like a Michael Mann film. The way the score is and the gunshot. Everyone's saying like, hey, this movie is this. Think of a movie that Joaquin Phoenix and a character he's already played before, and you will see Arthur. And that's Taxi Driver. and I mean the Master. He played in a movie called The Master, where it was based on a cult that it was in, a religious cult. Joaquin Phoenix comes from a sex cult himself. His parents were involved. His River Phoenix. They have another one, sister named Autumn, or something like that, but they all were named after nature. And he grew up in this cult. Before the family woke up one day and realized, hey, we're just having sex with each other. It's time to get out of here. Well, you might want to get off here because you don't want to see this. And you might say, well, why? Why was it starting to get even more crazy? Because he started to spiral out of control mentally. Mentally, he couldn't take what was happening. He didn't have his medication anymore. They didn't have any more funding. So you starting to see Gotham and the way it was crumbling as a system. As a system, it was failing. The city was losing control. Thomas Wayne was running for mayor, off of the brink of what happened with the Joker on the train with the 3 Wall Street guys. So the city heard that there's a clown that killed 3 Wall Street guys. Everybody is poor, is like kill the rich. And they're celebrating in the streets, and there's riots and everything going on about the city neglecting the poor. Wayne saw this as a way to introduce himself as mayor to the world and basically neglect Arthur and call him a clown. That's why he's a coward and hides behind the mask. Which infuriates the Joker, because Thomas Wayne is not in a position to make those type of statements when he's never had to walk in the shoes of someone like the Joker. A lot of great shots, a lot of great scenes. So another thing is the girl that plays Domino is a roommate of his. Well, not a roommate, a neighbor. Her and her little girl stay like over there, and they complained about the apartment. Well, eventually she comes and knocks on his door, and she asks, was you following me? He agrees, and next thing you know, she goes and see his comedy stand-up, which he bombs. And his mom gets sick when they start asking him about Arthur, and puts his mom in the hospital. She was there for him. Then all of a sudden, things start to change. He's in her house one day after his mom just died. He kills his mom. He suffocates her after he finds out the truth that he was adopted once he steals the records out of the mental institution. He steals the records, reads that his mom was crazy, adopted him. And the lady goes, hello, who are you? Wait a minute, are you Arthur that lives down the hall? Now everybody in the audience thinking that they were a couple. You saw them together and everything, but that was part of his delusion. She never was with him. After he saw her on trying to see him. The Fight Club moment, where Brad Pitt was never really there. It was all part of his imagination. So the Joker basically imagined that she was there. And another thing that people missed in the movie is that all of the conditions that they said his mother had and she was diagnosed with, narcissistic behavior, psychoticness, delusion, are all the conditions Arthur has. Even though she adopted him, he has these conditions. And he also has a condition in which he laughs. When he's real nervous or really upset, he laughs. He doesn't want to. It's a reaction in his own body that causes him to laugh. And he tries to stop himself, but he can't. And he just continuously laughs. This is a more in-depth Joker than the Heath Ledger Joker. So yes, he's portrayed more. That's a Batman movie in which the Joker was introduced into the film. So his performances were minimal. This is a film about actually his life altogether. So his screen time is about 98%. He's on the screen. So this is an entirely this is a more in-depth acting performance because it's all about him. This is more like a drama. It was theater. What you were watching was a live theater show. So, after all of this, he gets a call to appear on the Murray Show. So he's excited now. He gets to be on that show where his plan is to kill himself. Now, from the story that we all heard from the Joker, or what we know of the Joker, one of the things on television, so this might not even be the real Joker, the one that battles Batman. This might not even be that guy. Because remember, he said he saw a guy on TV and this guy inspired him. So this guy might not be the real Joker. That's all they could tell you about the Joker. So everyone seeing him, he's that's one of the classic scenes of the movie. It's a lot of them. But when he's actually in this movie and he comes out of the curtain and he reenacts what's happening on TV on how he's going to come out on the show, I love that scene. That scene's great. It's a lot of great shots in this film, but that was a great moment when he sits down and does the reenactment of how he's going to greet everybody and sit on the show and how it's synced up with how it's working on the television. He was watching someone else's performance and how they came out the curtain, and he wanted to come out that way. Comes out through the curtain, plays to the crowd. Oh, how you doing? And then he sits down the way he sits. That was a great shot. That was great the way they did it. Then, any comic inspiration? This whole thing, he was a lot of comics. The King of Comedy with Robert De Niro. That's an inspiration for this film. Taxi Driver, The Master. So many inspirational things were used in this movie to make this film. All you got to do is watch The Master. If you watch the trailer for the movie The Master, which Joaquin Phoenix, I actually did a movie review to that. I don't know if it was on here. It might have been my Carcino for Life channel. But I definitely did that. Taxi Driver, yeah. The Taxi Driver is the most obvious choice that most people would. Robert De Niro is even in the film. Was it a better performance than Heath? Yeah, in a way. Both of them did great for what their character was supposed to do. This was could he do this? Yes. Not probably as good as Joaquin Phoenix did it. This is way more deeper than what than what Heath Ledger had to do. Because he did what was on the Dark Knight. So that means his screen is not going to be that much. In Joker, his higher. It's about him. The camera's on him all the time. Getting to see differences, the way he laughs, and the way it's like someone who's got like sarcoidosis. He has a nervous condition that makes him laugh, even when he's not nervous, or if he gets really excited, he laughs uncontrollably. And he carries a card that tells him, please, when I'm nervous and this and that. So he hands it to people. He's not laughing at anybody. So what's the best job for somebody who has that condition? A clown who performs in front of people. But he's off his medication. They don't have meds for him anymore. So that's out. He don't have any other things that keep him calm anymore. The city's lost money, the funding. You see all this corruption and people unhappy in the streets, lack of jobs, just chaos in the entire order. So what is they going to do? He does the only thing he can do. React. Now he makes very poor decisions by doing so. But once he mentally assumes that woman is with him, we never see what happens. So we don't know if he killed her in her apartment or not. She's like, my little girl's in the room. We don't know if Joker killed her or not. We can only assume. The audience does not have an answer. We see him go to his room. We see the lights, the ambulance lights flashing in the window. We don't know if they're coming to that room to go to her room because someone called 911. We don't know. That is a powerful moment for the movie to not show you that and let you use your imagination to say, your imagination has to answer that question. Did he or did he not take her out? And I'm like, she gone. Because at that time, he was at his lowest point. And at that point, you thought this was his woman. All this time. Since he got off that train, and that was the first time he lost control. And he came in the apartment and kissed her. Everybody thought they were a couple. She was at the hospital with him. He imagined all of it. It was part of his psychosis. So when he goes to her house and he's actually there physically, and she's like, what are you doing in my house? And everybody in the audience is freaked out. I saw this guy who's in there with his girl. His girl was so mentally screwed up by the movie. She turns to her boyfriend immediately for explanation. She's, oh my God, is that his girlfriend? Why is she talking to him like that? I'm laughing because I know what's going on, and she doesn't realize she's into the mind of a lunatic. You're in his world, so now you have an understanding of what it is that he's going through. You're in the mind of a lunatic. He's all over the place. He told you he questioned his own identity. So if he did all of these things, the Joker is mentally falling apart. So therefore, you are taking on a ride with him as he falls apart. His life is being destroyed. He thought his father was Thomas Wayne because his mother told him he was the son of the billionaire Thomas Wayne. So he went to see his dad, like, Dad, it's me. I'm your abandoned son. And found out his mom was a lunatic. So then they show you the connection with Wayne. And Bruce was his brother. And the audience, for a while, for about 20 to 30 minutes of this movie, you thought this was the brother of Bruce Wayne. The Joker and them were brothers. The movie made you believe it. Then you found out that she's crazy. You find out that she's crazy. And it's the reason why he's crazy. And his life and what he's always believed and what he's been taught is all being stripped from him. Now he's like, you know what? Everything's screwed up. Now he goes on the talk show. He sees Robert De Niro where he's been planning to just kill himself right there. And he has his book of jokes because he wants to be a comedian. So he has one joke in his book where it says, I hope, ENTS, I hope my death makes more sense than my life. And then he wanted to kill himself on national television. This was his plan. He was going to go out with a bang. So out in front of the entire world, on the stage. Then he starts talking, and he's just like someone who's insane. The world is. Then he turns around and shoots Robert De Niro right in his face. Bang! Gets up and shoots him again. Bang! And then he asks him about, you mad at Thomas Wayne? Yeah, I'm mad at Thomas Wayne. And everybody, as soon as lays down the road, everybody gets what they deserve. Bang! Dead in the streets, you guys will step over me and keep going. But since Thomas Wayne comes out and makes cries on TV about 3 Wall Street guys, oh, everybody now, that's so good. Those guys were pieces of it. I was like, yeah, go ahead, Joker. Knock the Joker out. Thomas Wayne and his wife and Bruce come out of a theater. There's riots going on. Next thing you know, somebody in a Joker mask pulls up on them and goes, hey, Thomas Wayne. Thomas Wayne rips the pearls. Bruce Wayne is there. And pow, they take Mom out too. And they take off running. And of course, this symbolizes how Batman started. As Batman is a little boy sitting there, his parents wiped out. The Joker created the atmosphere in which his parents were taken out. Then they dragged the Joker out in what is the greatest shot of the entire movie. They set him on the police car and everybody surrounds him. And then he wakes up and he sees everybody cheering him. And he gets up and he's got blood all over him. He takes the blood out of his mouth. From his mouth bleeding, and spreads the blood across his face. And make a smile out of it. As he turns around to the crowd. Everybody loved that scene. Then you can see, and people have missed this too. Time has passed. Remember, this movie's in like the 70s. They're like in the 70s at this point. They're like early 70s. You can tell he's been there for some years. It's like modern time. And the look on the lady who's interviewing him. She's aged. Everybody's aged. And they're interviewing him. And eventually you can tell he wiped her out. He's got blood on his shoes as he's walking down the hallway. And he's running from side to side. And the mental hospital is there chasing him down. And it goes off the end. That is perfect. perfect way they did the movie. I will give it 3. It's just some pacing issues I would probably cut out. But my goodness. But I've already done a movie review for this. This is the spoiler movie review. We're going over the parts that a lot of people missed and that were epic. The movie is incredible. And definitely go watch Joaquin with a lot of different innuendos. I love that character writing piece that they put it in. You can tell it's like hurting his throat to laugh. I do 4-star system, not 5. They did a great job of taking you inside the mind of a lunatic, and I'm all for it.